Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to have a look at a Forex example, particularly this 5-minute chart of the euro and the rally we've had not only just in this last hour here but also off the bottom here. The reason I'd like to look at this is particularly off the bottom here is to show you how you can use the larger degree, in this case 15-minute charts, to help to give you larger degree support and resistance areas. But before I start on that, if we have a quick look at these two setups here, you can see the first TS3 or this first TS3 buy setup that would have been on here. If I put my analysis on this history triangle, you can see this would have got us into a trade here on a black STF, so a valid trade setup. However, it would have been stopped out for a -1R loss. But as we can see, there was another buy attempt, again on a black STF, so a perfectly valid trade setup that came in straight after. Here, the trade came in and then went straight to our first target. If we come down, STF was weak, so standard traders would have taken a nice plus 4.8R profit. So, good example of, even though there are losing trades as well as profitable trades, because the losers are kept small at -1R and profits are larger, in this case plus 4.8R, made profit overall. So that was a good example on how standard traders could have caught this last rally here over this last hour. But what I want to really look at is, from the more advanced traders among you, is this setup here. In fact, there were two buy setups here. Again, we had a trade entry here that got stopped out by just a couple of ticks before we had another trade entry here that would have made at least plus 2.7R, but I'll also show you how we could have run that up into this last high as well to then be pyramiding off this this trade here as well. But the first point to notice is, for standard traders, these buy setups here are on a red STF. A red STF normally defines a downtrend, therefore we wouldn't want to be buying in a downtrend. However, this is why I want to do this video, because the STF is just like any normal technical indicator, it's lagging. So although we suggest for newer traders using it because it's like stabilizes on your bike, it basically gets you into the MTPredictor routines, keeping you on the correct side of the trend most of the time. Advanced traders can take your stabilizers off and allow you to get into trades a lot earlier. So let's see why you may have considered this buy setup even against a red STF. Well, the way you do this is you go to the 15-minute chart. And here is the 15-minute euro chart. What we do on this is, if I scroll back, we can use our DP and WPT levels because they're leading. Okay, they go in advance of the markets. In other words, they're leading indicators. So here, if I do advanced chart analysis, I just click on decision point. I'll come down and click off this major low here, and you can see that we have our decision point area on the chart before the market even got there. In other words, it's a leading indicator. If I now scroll forward, you can see that the market made two attempts at this before the market started to rally up nicely. Just as an aside, if we go back and take a DP off this prior high here, this is where we expect the target for any rally off this low to unfold, and as you can see, this also coincided with our 5-minute profit target as well. And as you can see, the market, in this case the euro against the dollar, seems to be finding a high at this level and backing off. But the point I want to make is that this level here was on the chart in advance, so when the 15-minute chart was at our 15-minute decision point, in other words a larger degree support zone, the advanced traders among you could have then said, well, okay, on this 5-minute chart, which is the lower time frame, I could then say, because we're at larger degree support, I could override the STF and then take these trades. So as such, you could have had a -1R loss here, then come in for your second trade setup here, and come into the first target. Standard traders would have then looked at this, said the STF is strong, and managed it with the ATR stop. However, the advanced traders among you will have already seen the target I placed on the 15-minute chart, which is up here at around the 3808 level, 138.08. So if we now go back to the 5-minute charts, where's the 138.08 level? Well, coincidentally, if I put the DP off the same pivot as on the 15-minute chart, it would actually be up here. So again, in advance, you'd have known that you wouldn't really want to be coming out at this level. What you'd want to be doing is actually riding the trade up into the higher level here for a potential 6.9 or almost 7-hour profit. And as you can see, this is exactly what happened, and we actually had a chance to pyramid, in other words, add another long trade on the way up. But the whole point of this video is to show you not only our standard trade setups occurring on a Euro US dollar Forex chart here, but also how the advanced traders among you can choose to choose to disregard the STF when you have larger degree support and resistance coming in like this on your 15-minute charts. Again, it's like stabilizers. People obviously say to me, if I suggest ignoring the STF, why do we have it on there? Well, the reason we have it on there is for the newer traders among you. Again, it's like stabilizers to have an easy to understand system for allowing you to get into trades that most of the time will keep you in the direction of the larger degree trend. And that's what happened with these setups here with a black STF. However, as I've shown you, because all indicators, and it's the same for every indicator, not just our MTP indicators, but every indicator, because it's lagging, will always be behind turns like this, and that's where we can take the stabilizers off, go to becoming an advanced trader, in other words the next level with the MTPredictor software, look at our 15-minute charts for large degree support and resistance, and when we are confident using those large degree support and resistance, we can then take trades like this that often pick the very turns in the market. So that's a good indication of how the STF can be used by, we'll say, the newer MTPredictor traders, but when you become more advanced, take your stabilizers off. You can then use the more advanced techniques in the software, which are the DPs and WPTs, and as such get far better or far more trade setups like this particular one here. So the end result would have been a very good morning on the euro this morning, where we'd have had a -1R. Then this trade up here would be plus, can I call that +7? Is that near enough to keep the maths easy? So that would be +6R overall. We then had another -1 and another trade set up here. Again, we wouldn't have come out at the first target, we'd have gone into the higher target. Which is there. Just do that correctly. Come off that bar, which was there. Sorry, my mouse is not doing very well here. I've got a new mouse for Christmas. Which is there for another 6R profit. So 6 -1 would have added another 5R. So take into account the -1 +7 -1 +6 would have been 6 +5. If my maths is correct, that would have been +11R. So a good set of trades here, with the advanced one off the major low, then the standard ones off this corrective swing here. So a good example of using MTPredictor on the Forex charts, both for standard traders and also for advanced traders here using the larger degree trend.